Hello, everybody, and welcome here to the Wine with Jimmy channel. Delighted to have you on board. You will know this is all about wine education in great detail here. So I go through great pains to research all topics around the world of wine, countries, regions, geology, geography, topography, winemaking styles, grape varieties, and I bring you that information. This is specifically designed for those of you really getting knee deep into your books, studying the world of wine to pass your likes of your WSET Diploma. So it's based on key text and key syllabus. Welcome to your Argentina series here. This is available as free content. So this is series 2 on Mendoza. And we are looking at a 4-part series. So part 1 available as free content, but Part 2 through to 4, that's Central Mendoza, the Uco Valley, and Southern Mendoza are only available to those of you who subscribe to my e-learning platform. The Diploma D3 section on World of Wine has 660 videos at your fingertips, many of them, of course, being exclusive if you sign up. If you have a comment or question, do get in touch by commenting on this video. Perhaps you are a winemaker in Mendoza in Argentina, or you've been to the region, you like the wines. Get in touch. What do you feel about the wines? Do you like them? Do you have any key producers you wish to share? Right, let's start about an introduction to Mendoza to begin. So, of course, we know that Mendoza is by far the largest wine producing province of Argentina, both in terms of area under vine and, of course, volume produced. Now, it accounts for about 76% of Argentinian vineyard area and about 2/3 of total production. So quite sizable. You'll see a map there. So we're identifying from Argentina on the right-hand side and then going closer into the real wine country of Mendoza. The city of Mendoza lies towards the north. It's very close to where you see the number 14 on that map. But all the red area on that map is vineyard zones. So over these 4 videos, I will go into those key areas, giving you all the information you need to understand the wines produced in those areas. There's a generalized map, 3D map of Mendoza. Now, the main vineyard area is situated at the base of the massive mountain range, of course, the Andes mountain range, located there on the left-hand side of your 3D map. Now, this is in the valley of the River Mendoza, which, of course, is the life force, really, of most of this region, supplying essential water irrigation. But increasingly, viticulture is extending to the foothills of the Andes. Mostly, Mendoza's vineyards will range from around 500 meters to about 1,500 meters in the upper parts of the Uco Valley. The highest peak of the Andes is also found very close to here. So this is at 23,000 feet. It's about 7,000 meters. This is the Mount Aconcagua. It's in the Argentinian side, of course, very important here on this side, as it's the big shadowing mountain on the west-hand side. If you go to Chile, of course, it's the eastern mountain, really sort of being a significant impacting site on the Aconcagua Valley, things like Maipo and Santiago. There is a lot of numbers there on your slide. This is to give you the up-to-date information, 2021 figures for the National Viticultural Institute, the annual surface report. Now, this equates that black grape varieties account for under 2/3, 63% of plantings, pink varieties 22%, rounding up, and whites 15%, rounding up. Now, as you will see, with nearly 40,000 hectares, Malbec is the dominating grape variety, and plantings of Malbec, as we talked in the previous series, have more than doubled since the year 2000. It's about 27% of total vineyard plantings. Other key grape varieties there, you'll see Bonarda coming in second place in Mendoza, Cabernet Sauvignon then in third place, then Syrah, for example. The whites you'll see in the middle of your table, looking at Pedro Jimenez being the leading grape, then Chardonnay, then Torrontés. The typical culprits of the pink skins, so Cereza, Criolla Grande, and Criolla Chica, are your three that you see here. Now we are looking again, so the introduction again, just in terms of really its GIs. So Mendoza is home to Argentina's only two DOCs, which is the Luján de Cuyo, you'll see that on the right-hand side list, and San Rafael, also on the right-hand list. And it has more geographical indications, GIs, so wine areas with a boundary, than any other province. Now, one GI covers the whole area, which is, of course, Mendoza, but most of the departments also have their own GI. Now, within individual departments, there are smaller GIs being recognized as well. The vineyard area can be broadly split into 5 separate divisions: Northern, Eastern, Central, the Val de Uco or the Uco Valley, and the Southern. Each has its own inherent terroir characteristics and their own districts. Apart from the Uco Valley, these are not registered GIs. So Northern, Eastern, Central, and Southern are not registered GI names, but the Uco Valley is a registered GI names. Now, grapes from different areas are most typically blended together, and that creates the overarching GI of Mendoza. That's how most wine is. Most people know Mendoza today in the general consumer populace, so it's quite attractive to have that terminology on there. So from this area, we're going to focus on North and Eastern. So you'll see that we are now focusing on a new 3D map. This is situated on the plains that surround the Mendoza River Valley. You'll see that running here. It actually comes from the east, or the sort of left-hand side of your map, and then flows upwards there. So that's the main part. But you'll also see the Tunuyán River for eastern part, which then flows into the Mendoza, the confluence of that. Now, water will be sourced from both of those rivers, so the Mendoza for the northern area and the Tunuyán for the eastern area. I've highlighted both of those rivers actually also on your map just there. Both of these zones are relatively low altitude, the lowest that you can actually find in Mendoza, so 500 to 700 meters above sea level. There are GIs found here as well, like Junín, Rivadavia, Distrito Medrano, San Martin, and Santa Rosa. So you have other GIs found here in this area as well. Now, the warmer conditions here, certainly because of the lower altitudes, and the availability of water means that these areas are typically more well known, maybe infamously, for larger volumes. But there are some higher quality wines also made, certainly from lower yielding vineyards, specifically actually from Tempranillo and Bonarda. There's a vineyard there in Santa Rosa in your picture, which is in eastern part of Mendoza. Very much seeing more of a lightly undulating landscape, slightly hilly to flat is what we see for most of these areas. Okay, let's look at the Google Earth video, just less than a minute here. So there's Argentina. We'll look at the Andes, famous for four things, really. Protection against the westerly sun, rivers that are sourced here like the Tunuyán and Mendoza, altitude, of course, the balancing act with the intense heat, and the Zonda wind. Mendoza city we'll focus on first, then the outlying province of Mendoza, which accounts for 76% of the country's vineyard, 2/3 of production, vineyards at 500 to 1500 meters. And Malbec, of course, is the major player here at 27% of the vineyard land. North Mendoza at 500 to 700 meters. It's the same as East as well, both of these areas. The north has water from the Mendoza River, and then the east that you're about to see here is water from the Tunuyán River. This is a warmer zone, both of these, so more volume, but look out for Tempranillo and Bonarda for quality. Okay, well, that brings me to a conclusion of part one. Please do join me for part two, looking at central Mendoza. Of course, we'll talk about the Maipú and Luján de Cuyo. If you want to watch this video along with the others, they are only exclusive to those of you who subscribe to my e-learning platform. You'll find the details of that at the bottom of the slide. That's www.winewithjimmy.com. Thank you very much for your time and attention. I've been Jimmy Smith. Ciao for now. Goodbye.